This is our part 2 of getting to know the forest. So today we're going to be talking about web of connections. And as I said in the previous videos, is that there's something in nature that can tell us everything that we need to know about our culture, about ourselves, about healing. First, I just want to clarify a term. I'll be using the word native, and one thing I just want to share is that my thoughts on that is everybody is native to somewhere, and we all done use plant medicine. We all knew the forest, and that was a part of the way we seen the world and the way we interacted with the world. So I just wanted to acknowledge everybody, different cultures, different people. Today we'll be looking at the whare tukutuku, or the spider's web. And we're going to use this as a practical example to talk about balance. One thing you'll notice is that with native peoples, there are reoccurring themes. And they are themes that Māori have on our side of the world, and you have someone else on the other side of the world coming up with the same concepts. I call these universal truths. Although we have never met or never exchanged, the concepts become very similar to exactly the same in some instances. When we look in the forest, we see balance, we see duality and opposites, which all exist alongside each other. A good example of this is when we look into the forest, we see the old trees falling, so we see death, and we see the young trees taking the light where the old tree fell, and we see life. But it is not divided to death and life. They merge between each other and give back to each other. The best way to understand these concepts is by observation. Balance and duality reoccurs everywhere, and when you look at our rākau, our trees, you'll see it. Life and death, male and female, light and dark, spiritual and physical. It's important to understand these things not as an academic concept, but as an observed concept. Example of this is looking in a dark space in the forest, and then you see the light coming in. Now, in the Western mindset, often dark and light will be separate and complete opposites. But from my understanding of the forest, they exist together, side by side, at the same time. You will notice that these concepts reoccur for native peoples in our dance, language, culture and art. And if we ever get lost, we can go back to the forest to find our story. Now we'll use the spider's web to explain how we see the world. Like the threads of the spider's web, we understand that everything is connected, from the smallest thing to the largest thing. Now we as people don't sit in the middle of the web as the spider that wove the web. We are just one of the threads. And as one of those threads, we show compassion and kindness to the other threads, because we know if you take away all the threads of the spider's web, it'll fall when the wind blows. This is why we do our karakia, or give thanks, because there always needs to be an exchange. Like the tree falling over, rotting, and giving back to the land, to the young trees. There's an exchange going on in nature. Ko au te whenua ko te whenua au. I am the land and the land is me. If you have any questions, comments and feedback, please don't be shy to post them up. Like, subscribe and enjoy. Ngā mihi mahana ki a koutou katoa.